Welcome one and all, and this is Gurudath, and we are starting our new webinar on the topic AI as a friend. Okay, so this is AI as a friend, not just a chatbot like we used to do, but this is beyond that. How AI is moving towards a more personal aspect for a human being. The importance of AI to a human being is now expanding to different realms. So that is why we invited Mr. Abdul. He's also known as One Little Coder. He's one of the most important YouTuber in this space of AI. I have been following him from the beginning, where we started talking about generative AI and OpenAI and all. So he has been contributing to this space almost like every day, and you could hear his, AI inventions as well while he explore all these technologies. But today we are going to focus on this aspect of AI as a friend. So I'm going to invite Abdul for this topic. He'll be covering topics on how AI is now moving towards that personal space. So I don't know if you have seen this movie. There is a movie called Her, Her, Her. Okay, so it's a story about the protagonist, which is the hero, who falls in love with an AI character. Okay, it's not a real woman, but because of his loneliness and his life circumstances, he get intimate with this character who is not a human being. And the real question, the dilemma comes when the character and with the character, even us will try to like figure out, is it real or is the, I mean, we know that it's a program, right? But the emotions are real. The person who feels the emotions that even though shared from an AI is real. So if that is the case, what could be the future? I'm sure none of us will be much affected in that depth in this lifetime, but probably our children's will, or the next generation or the generation after that, right? When they are born into this technology itself. So, what are the possible future of this technology? What is happening right now? And Abdul also will. I'm hoping that he also showcase you some real time examples as well. So, without further ado, I welcome Abdul for the session. Abdul, over to you.
Okay, there are certain things that Gurudath mentioned. Maybe I will not go into that place, but let's see during the course of the presentation, how does it go? Okay, so I want to start the slideshow mode. I've prepared a presentation, but we'll also have like demo here and there once we have the presentation ready. So as Gurudath mentioned, the title of this presentation is AI as a Friend, Your Digital Buddy. But again, like unlike Gurudath mentioned, we are not trying to showcase to build girlfriends here. At least like the friend here is not a girlfriend, but there are some successful companies doing it. For example, a company name called Replica. If you see, go to Replica website. Maybe if you're married, you shouldn't visit a Replica website, but let's say maybe you're single, so you're okay with an AI companion. So Replica, what it does is it helps you build something like what Gurudath mentioned at the start in the movie here. You can create your own personalized AI chatbot the way you like it, which you cannot do it with human beings. With human beings, you cannot do like the way you design. But this one is a chatbot that you can design yourself, and then you can talk. You can talk for hours, and this is a company that is making probably like millions of dollars. And this is a space a lot of VCs, venture capitalists, are looking forward to invest. In fact, literally today I was listening to a podcast, and the VC venture capitalist on that podcast is looking forward to see if there are companies where he can invest that is particularly in this space. So Replica is a very interesting startup that helps you. They don't call themselves like the AI girlfriend company, but at the end of the day, that is what they're trying to do. But as a blanket, they call it AI companion, with whom you can talk and all those things. And also today we are not talking about replacing your friend, unlike friend.com. So there is a startup that has raised a lot of fund. And as you can see here, the small pendant, the neck. So it's like a necklace, like a pendant, just a pendant. So this is a company. I think the device is like $100. I'm not sure if there is going to be a subscription or not. But this is a device which is going to be completely personalized for you. It is going to be there with you 24/7. It is going to listen to you, and you can just press the pendant and then talk to it. You can share your moments with it. You can ask question. You can do a bunch of other things. This is the closest that we would get to a personalized, a tangible AI. So unlike replica, which is not tangible, like even within replica you're still talking to a screen. I mean, that might change with holograms. Now we have got toys. In the US there are a couple of companies, they're exploring toys like, a teddy bear kind of a toy with which kids can talk. But for grown-ups, this is probably the closest that you would get. Like, you've got a pendant in your neck with which you can talk. And unlike replica, it cannot talk back, so it can message you, text you. So you can use your phone and then listen to it, then reply back and then talk to it and do all sort of things. In this presentation, we are not building girlfriends, we are not building friends also. So what we are going to do here is that, okay, how can you use AI as your friend? See, one of the things that I've felt with a lot of people at this point, like whenever I talk to people, they're always worried about AI. There is a fear, and the fear is primarily driven by Hollywood. We have all grown up watching Hollywood movies, and famous movies like Terminator, which is all about in the future human race is going to be destroyed about AI by AI. So they send somebody to come and then save the human race. And there are a lot of movies, even Her. If you watch the movie that Gurudath said, Her also says like how you have got a personalized girlfriend. Ultimately, at the end of the movie, for people who have seen it, there is a spoiler alert if you have not seen it. At the end of the movie, the main character, the protagonist, realizes that she is not just your friend; she's like friend of thousands of people. So there is always a negative connotation about how AI might replace humans, destroy human race, and a lot of other things. So what I want to take this presentation towards is how you can unlock your potential, or you can have like a good digital buddy that will help you do a lot more things better than what we might do alone. And somebody on the internet, like I have read this, I couldn't find who said this, I couldn't quote it, but basically they said like AI might not replace humans, but humans with AI will replace humans without AI. And we might shortly see why. Imagine this lady is an accountant. Many years ago, what she might have done, like a CA, chartered accountant, just an accountant in the company. Many years ago, she must have like used pen and paper to do all the calculations, probably like let's say 100 years ago. That's what she must have done. Any calculation that she must have done, she must have had to use pen and paper, and she must have done all the calculation. And now, if somebody, like for example, you have hired an accountant and you are going to tell the accountant to go through all the ledger and then manually calculate, you might find that accountant stupid, because that is not what you do in 2024. And then came along something in this particular case, which is calculator. So calculator came along, people started not memorizing how to do multiple arithmetic calculation, rather they started using calculator. So she must have done something much faster than she would have otherwise done it. Cool. Now later on came spreadsheets, like the one that you see here, Google spreadsheet, Microsoft Excel. This is like a ridiculously productivity booster for accountants, because now you can do a lot more things, like millions of rows of calculation, millions of transactions, which you wouldn't have been otherwise to do with pen and paper at the same time period. So that is where I usually like people to think. Again, it's a highly opinionated thought. I don't want you to think that there is a robot sitting next to you and then it's going to kick you out of the job and then you're going to be jobless. I want you to think that you had calculator, you had computer, you had spreadsheet. This is just the next level, a new evolution of that is going to help you unlock productivity. If you ask me a question whether AI is going to become AGI, artificial general intelligence, or sentient, which means it's going to have its own awareness, or whether it is going to wipe out human race, I don't have answers to these questions. I'm not a researcher into that. I'm not exploring the philosophical path. Like, maybe if you ask me AI girlfriend whether it is good or bad, maybe I would say that maybe not a great idea. But AI therapist or companion could be useful. But in this particular case, I'm not sure whether it is going to wipe out humanity or not. But what I would strongly encourage is you can use them to improve your productivity and do a lot more things that you probably wouldn't have been able to do otherwise. And one interesting thing here is that Harvard University in the US partnered up with BCG, Boston Consulting Group, which is a very popular consulting group, works across the world. Probably the peak of white collar jobs. Consultants are one of the highly paid in the world. They hire from Ivy League universities. And they did a study with them, and then they figured out that when these consultants who are already highly educated, supposedly highly talented and high paid, and they're not doing a work of a painter, they're not doing a work of a plumber where you have got a set of steps. I mean, if a tap is broken, you have X, Y, Z. This is, you have to follow X, Y, Z. Then you fix it. You don't have a lot of ambiguity there. Let's say your car tire or a bike tire has gotten flattened. If it is a tubeless tire, you have got XYZ. First, you take the spray and then roll it over, see where the puncture is. Then you pull it out. Then you put that wooden thing, and then you fix it. It is not an ambiguous job. It's a set of sequential process, A, B, C, X, Y, Z. You can do it. Unlike consultants, that's why one of the reasons they get highly paid. They deal with a lot of ambiguity. They don't know what the problem that they're solving. Sometimes they have to create their own problem. And what they figured out with the Harvard study with BCG is that even those consultants had a lot of productivity gain when they were paired with, let's say, a tool like ChatGPT. And it is not just consultants. Let's take programmers, for example. GitHub Copilot is a tool that you can use to help you code, understand code, fix your code, write code from scratch. We'll see a couple of examples today as well. And they figured out that when they recruited 95 developers, like it's like an A/B testing, when they recruited 95 developers, and 45 developers of that use GitHub Copilot, and 50 developers are like programmers. That part of my job, like I have a full-time job as a data scientist and I code a lot. So they said that 78% finish rate when people used GitHub Copilot, 70% finish rate when they did not use GitHub Copilot. Okay, maybe you can say that 8% is not a huge difference. Now we don't have like the t-test to figure out whether it is statistically significant or not. But what is staggering here is that people who use GitHub Copilot took 1 hour 11 minutes to complete an average task, while people who did not use GitHub Copilot took 2 hours 41 minutes. So there is a 55% of less time when you used GitHub Copilot, and that is something that you could see. And in my personal work also, like I do a code a lot. If you see my last 1 month, I would easily say that a lot of things that I coded at my work as part of my hobby projects, like Gurudath said, I build a lot of things. I wouldn't have been able to code those things had I not had AI support. So that is the direction I want all of us to think, how we can use AI as our digital buddy. Now, when it comes to using AI, there are multiple levels to it. And this is basically the core of our presentation. Until now, everything was foreshadowing. The main thing that we are trying to do here is if you see with general LLMs, large language models. So whatever we say as AI today, artificial intelligence, a lot of people, a lot of research scientists might even argue that it is not artificial intelligence. But again, it depends upon how do you see it, what kind of philosophical thought you come with. Well, let's say we call LLMs, large language models, as AI. Now, when large language models came into picture, probably a couple of years back, and even today, the primary use case at the bottom of the pyramid, the very basic thing that people do with a large language model is that they use it for text generation. You go there, you say that, okay, I want to write a leave letter. Okay, how do I create a leave letter? Okay, just go say, I want to create a leave letter, so and so date. It creates it for you. It gives you text generation. Or a slightly one level above text generation is you ask very simple basic question and answer, having a chat conversation. You just go say that, okay, I have got a problem. I've got this computer. The computer is not working fine. It's continuously restarting. This is the error that it is giving me. This is the error code. It gives you the answer back. That is one level above text generation. Rather than just generating text, you are actually trying to have a conversation, question and answer. Even though it is not like speaking conversation, you're still trying to have a conversation. Now, the level above this in the pyramid is knowledge discovery. So where instead of just literally asking question and getting an answer, using the memory that LLM has got, You're going to infuse a bunch of knowledge, which also we'll see as part of demos and use cases. You're going to infuse the knowledge and then ask question back. Now, the question is part of knowledge discovery. So, for example, I could have a research paper, which could be like 20, 30 pages long. It could have a bunch of, let's say, mathematical equations. It could have like computer science. It could have something else. Now, I'm going to give this PDF document to AI and then ask it to explain in a way that one, I can understand, and I can understand it and teach it to somebody. And this is extremely helpful. For me, at least personally, one of the things that I regularly use these kind of AI systems is to learn a lot of things, to understand a lot of things that are difficult for me to understand. Otherwise, it simplifies it for me and gives it to me. And also because I teach on YouTube and my audience base is like, not just only technical people. I have a lot of non-technical people. So I use this to explain something that is highly technical, but in a non-technical way. So knowledge discovery has become a very critical part of the AI pyramid stack. So if you want to use AI, one, you can of course use text generation, which will do it. But also the next level to it is, how do you make it more personalized? Maybe you have a set of life principles. You have a set of life philosophies. You can make an AI chatbot just with those principles and with those resources, and then you can chat with that. And that is like knowledge discovery. Imagine you have got Albert Einstein, who's we all know, the very famous scientist who created this very popular equation called E is equal to mc square, which is trying to find the energy, which is also the fundamental of atomic bomb and all the other things in the world. So now what you can do is you can create an Albert Einstein kind of a research bot, where you take all the research paper Albert Einstein has created, and you make the bot in such a way that the bot has all the understanding. The chatbot has all the understanding of all the papers. See, why will the chatbot have all the understanding? That is, first of all, the question that we have to ask. The language models, large language models that we are dealing with today are created from all the knowledge that internet has got for the foreseeable past that we have got. So as long as we know internet existed, that knowledge has been used in creating these large language model in one form or other. And that is why these language models are really good at sometimes connecting the dots. For example, sometimes you can just go and say that, okay, there is a movie in which there is a bank heist scene at the start, but I don't know which one. The language model will help you get that answer back because it has got all the knowledge and it just has to connect it and give it to you with the computation that it has got. So this is extremely good for knowledge discovery, which means you can create, like, let's say an Indian scientist like Abdul Kalam or Baba, the Bark scientist. So you can create a bot like that and then have conversation with it, and it is extremely helpful, one, for students, for them to learn something new, and also for teachers to use this and then teach it back. So it has got a lot of advantages. And in corporate life, like from the companies that I come from, so we use knowledge discovery a lot because, let's say, last 10 years the company has created a lot of documents, Slack messages, and a lot of other things. It is humanly impossible for me to go through all those things and figure out what somebody has done. But now we have got tools where I can just go type it and then it can ingest all the data and then finally give me the information that I want. And it is extremely helpful, trust me. But that is not where we have stopped today. Where we have gone is further one level above. That is what we call as agents. Now, what is this agent? Agent is a very flashy topic. A lot of people don't agree agents as agents. And a lot of people get put off by the word agentic AI. But let's say for the sake of discussion, we're going to go ahead with the definition that industry is mostly using.
Abdul, just before that, can we just also mention people like or brands like character.ai, right? The things that they are doing, because they are not into direct agentic thing, right? I mean, although they have, so it's basically they are prompting. I mean, the user can give a persona so that the AI can be that person. So, for example, in this, so all of you, if you look at the screen, Abdul is sharing, all of that is like pre-designed. Some users have designed those things. So everything for Elon Musk, even for a therapist like every single role that you can think of, there is one AI for that. So I was saying that this particular one also have an option to generate specific sounds for those characters. So audio is also involved. So it is not just a normal chat. There is the importance of sound. It gets more personal. And I found it interesting that they have this call feature. So it's basically the same technology, underlying technology is the same. The call is basically they are catching or they are recording your sound when you talk, and then they convert that to text. The AI is generating a response text, and that text is being given to you as another audio. It's like a character specific audio. So you will feel like a normal conversation, but since everything is happening so fast, it is basically the same technology that Abdul was saying. So this is what we have now. Now, what Abdul was about to mention, like just next, is that how things are going to change when the agents come into play. This is more important to know because it can affect it. I mean, it really affects the jobs in the market. He is going to explain you how it can impact jobs at scale in different types of jobs, including his own job. Okay, let's start with agents.
Yeah, so character.ai, fun, interesting factors. The guy who created character.ai, his name is Noam Shazir. So a lot of thing that we discussed today about LLMs, large language models, came from a very seminal paper from Google. And the paper is called Attention is All You Need. And this person, Noam Shazir, is one of the authors of that paper when he was at Google. And Character.ai is a company that is doing extremely well. Like they've been making a lot of money. And just a couple of weeks back, I think probably 2 weeks back, Noam Shazir, the guy who created this company, left this company and went back to Google again to join Google DeepMind to again work on like cutting edge research. So that's an interesting fact. And Gurudath was saying, you can create your own different personas here. And it's not like I gave you Albert Einstein example, but it's not just that. What a lot of people do with character.ai, if you use it in the right way, it's not just if you're not using it for girlfriend, but if you're using it in the right way. Let's say you have got an interview upcoming. So now what you can do is you can create a character with a particular set of skill set that will play the interviewer role, and you can practice the interview with it. And like again, like let's say you want to go ask your manager for appraisal, you can make it a manager and you can have a conversation with a lot of different things. And yeah, Gurudath, if you have got any other use case that how people can use character, please share.
No, I just want to show you that. So although it's very interactive, but there is a caption like a warning that they're saying, remember, everything characters say is made up. So that is another aspect. So it can act like a therapist, but also you should know that it is not real. It is helping you, but it's technology playing its role, but it's not real. Okay. Yeah, you continue. Thank you.
Yeah. Great. Let's go back to the presentation. And like Gurudath was saying, so I would keep character somewhere here in the knowledge discovery place with custom knowledge, like whoever profile that you are trying to create. What we are trying to do now is to go one level beyond that and then see, okay, can we not just focus on the answers, but can we also focus on tasks and executions? Like you have a totally different mindset. Rather than thinking about question and answer, prompt and output, can you think about task and execution? And hopefully, if my access works, I'll show a demo in an app called On Demand. It's a company based out of Dubai, where we can build like a shopping agent that can do, not exactly, it cannot buy, but it can do the shortlisting, shopping recommendation for us and give it back to us. And it's extremely mind-blowing because the kind of things that you can do with agent today is you would need like 3-4 people. And people, if you go online and if you go to like internet and start searching for like let's say AI agent SMMA, you will see hundreds of people leveraging it. And then SMMA, I think, is stands for Social Media Marketing Agency. People have built their own swarm of agents that will do certain jobs for them, like write research papers, create marketing copies, and all those things. And here we are not talking about question and answering. We are talking about task and execution. So let's see how that actually works. So going back to the presentation mode. So the primary difference between LLMs and agents. So agents are made up of LLMs. That is something that we need to be clear. Agents are not something separate. Agents are made up of LLMs. But in case of agents, agents take action. They're not just like producing content. They're not just giving you a reply, but they take action. So what do we mean by that? So a simple agent, like the bare minimum, a very simple agent could be something like you have got LLMs, large language models, coupled with some sort of tools. Remember the accountant example that we discussed. For the very first time, the accountant was a simple human being, but the human being got a tool within their portfolio, which is the calculator, and they started using it. Now let's take a university student. A university student is a simple human being, but they've got internet, so they search on internet and do bunch of things, and then they create something. The same way we have got the LLM at the core, at the center, and then you pair them with a bunch of tools like calculator, internet search, Wikipedia, and other things, and the agent can leverage the tool and then do something and they get the response back. This is the simplest tool, agent. Now the world is not that simple. You cannot run a social media marketing agency with just a simple agent. I mean, you can do a bunch of things with a simple agent, but you need more than that. So that is where the concept of multi-agent system comes into picture. In a multi-agent system, what you're going to have is you are not going to have only one agent doing one thing. You're going to have multiple agents doing multiple things. Now let's take a social media marketing agency as an example. For you to run a successful social media marketing agency, you need a manager, of course, to oversee a lot of things. You need somebody who can write content. You need somebody who, let's say, researches about content. So at this point, you have got three agents. Let's say we don't want manager at this point. Let's say leave the manager out. So you need at least two agents. One is a researcher agent. The other one is a writer agent. A researcher agent has to go to the internet, search a bunch of things, get stuff back, and the writer agent has to write based on what the researcher agent has researched. For example, if I'm going to say create a report, a social media report based on the current market in 2024. So you want somebody to go online, internet search about trends in 2024, go to Wikipedia page, read about it, come back, and then you want the second agent, the writer agent, to take all the things, summarize it, and write it in a nice way. So one thing that you might have noticed at this point is these agents will have roles. Like, for example, the first agent's role is a researcher role. The second agent's role is a writer role. And you can also give memory to the agent. So very similar like what character AI is doing. You can give some knowledge, like we talked about Albert Einstein, and people use Paul Graham, who's the founder of Y Combinator, a lot. So you can give knowledge to these agents, and also you can give memory in such a way that next time you come, the agent will remember you. The agent knows what was happening before, so it has that memory layer. And then you also want the agents to cooperate. So that is another very important thing in any social system. For us to, I mean, if you see India as a country, for us to have a successful social system, people need to cooperate with each other. If people do not cooperate with each other, any social system will crumble and fall. And between agents, for agents to successfully do something, cooperation is important. Why? In a multi-agent system, you'll have a common goal. Let's say in this case, a common goal is write a blog post about AI applications in 2024. That is a common goal. Now, that goal has to be split into different tasks. And if you see here, so this is the architecture of something called Baby AJ, which was like quite popular back in the day. Now, not so much. So there is a common goal. That common goal has to be broken into bunch of tasks. So in the case of two agents, what are the tasks that you can break it up into? You can say, okay, task 1, research on Google about trends in 2024, AI trends. Task 2, research in Wikipedia on Wikipedia, AI trends in 2024. Task 3, send these tasks to the writer agent. Task 4, for writer agent, take this, summarize it in less than 2000 words. Maybe the fifth task is to create a report. So now these tasks are going to be in a task pipeline. So first it will pull the task, execute the task, store it in some kind of data, check if the task has been executed, then reprioritize the existing list, do it again, do it again, do it again, until we reach the successful final result. So that is why cooperation is very important and role is very important. Now, how would an LLM would know that for this task I have to go to this agent? For example, an agent is nothing but an LLM with a tool. So now an LLM can have a tool like calculator, and you could be simply asking the agent, okay, what is 2 plus 2? Now the agent has to know that I have to send this task to the first agent, because the first agent is the one who has got calculator. So that is where the role is very important. And finally, for you to produce a final result, cooperation is important. One thing that multi-agent systems are not really created is planning, and that is where you make use of a lot of frameworks like called Crew AI. Crew AI is a Python library that will let you run your own agents. And in Crew AI, there are like fundamental concepts, like one is a crew. What is a crew? Crew is like a bunch of human beings doing a particular task. In this case, it has the same meaning. You have got a bunch of agents, a multi-agent system at a common goal. So as you can see here, agents have the innate ability to reach out and delegate and work, ask questions. And these agents work on a task, and there's a process, and the process will define how they are going to work together. So agents have goals, agents have tasks. There is a process which is defining how they are going to cooperate, and everybody work together, and finally there is an outcome. And there are different agentic frameworks, and you can see some examples. AutoGen is a framework from Microsoft. So you've got a very simple math problem solving agent. So a student is coming and asking a question. The agent is using Python, agent is using let's say LLM, and then giving the answer. So now there is a knowledge discovery agent, there is a multi-agent coding system, there is a dynamic group chat. Then you can have an agent where you can play chess. You can have an agent that will help you make decisions. So you can have like multiple agents like this with different roles, and you can see how people are putting together these agents just like Lego blocks. Now let's get into some demos, and then we'll see a couple of things in the stack that we just discussed, and we'll also see how we can do the agentic part also. And again, I'm going to use a bunch of tools, but you can use any tools that you want. But the main intention here is just to show you how to do bunch of different things. Gurudath, anything for that?
Yes. So just for the people who don't understand much of the technical aspect, I just wanted to show you a basic demo that we all have this thing called a phone with you, right? So the easiest thing is to understand that open ChatGPT in one phone, and that is agent number 1, okay? And then take another phone, you switch on ChatGPT in the other phone, and that is agent number 2. So what you have to do now is simply, so now ChatGPT can have the voice function as well. So you switch on the voice function, voice command on one ChatGPT, and say that, okay, you are my assistant 1, okay? Your job is to give me suggestion on the latest movies that came out this week, okay? And once you give that, this AI will respond something. So before that respond, you tell the other phone and the other agent that you are my film critic, okay? I am going to show you some, I'm going to give you some input, and you have to tell me which movie is good among this list and which I should be really seeing this week. So once I ask that what are the movies coming out this week, so this AI is going to respond. That response will be input for the next phone, okay? And that AI will listen to the output of the other phone, and it will now suggest the best among the movie and according to its own logic. Now we can even continue this for us as long as we want, or till the credits fill up. So what they will be doing, one will answer, the other will take it up, other will answer, the other will take it up. But what Abdul was suggesting is that we can really program it intelligently so that we get a specific outcome. It can do not the whole job, but most part of it very efficiently. And also it can work as an assistant for us. It doesn't have to do all the work. But remember, we all don't have this person whenever we need, right? So this can be our assistant, the friend that we need, who can help us do those repetitive, boring tasks. Also the things, for example, looking at a spreadsheet and finding out some data from it, right? Like how can I predict something? My human brain is not working like that. But the AI can easily do it with its logic and its power. So that is an agent. Now what he's going to show you, the What I showed is like a basic use case, but he's going to show you the industry level and how it can really impact our lives in the social and in the professional levels. Let's continue.
Starting, we are not going to use the agent, and we are just simply going to see a bunch of things like we just covered like during the course of the presentation. One thing that I want to start is like with I'm using Google AI Studio, and we are using their latest model called Gemini 1.5 Pro experimental model that was launched on I think August 1st, and it has got a 2 million context window token. So for people who do not know what does this mean, these large language models have got a short-term memory, so it cannot remember something that is that happened like let's say yesterday. So it can remember only what I chat with it now, and even for that it has got a memory limit, which is in this case 2 million token. So you can assume that one and of word is one token, just to simply say. So it can assume this many tokens. This means like 1 hour YouTube video, or let's say 1 hour voice clip, and a lot of other things. What I'm going to do is I'm going to just start with a very simple question saying that, okay, this is going to be like my health planner. So let's see, I'm going to start with a system instruction. You are a health planner for with context about Indian food. So this is where you are trying to give it like a kind of like a persona so that it understands what it is supposed to do, the role. It is still not an agent, but still we are kind of like giving it a role. You are supposed to answer questions with health mindset and help people get better with their health goals. Okay, this is the context that we have got. So now what I'm going to say, I'm going to just go ahead and then let's say this is a chatbot. It almost is like I'm currently overweight, which I'm actually currently overweight. I hardly walk 3K steps in a day. I don't work out. Please suggest me a meal plan with the right calories for a week. Do you want to know if I prefer vegetarian or non-veg? Let's just end this. Okay, so it wants to know, and meanwhile, it is already giving me a bunch of these details. So the general outline is, how much portion I should take, and it says, okay, knowing something is good, but it is already giving me an option. So, for example, the first day I asked it to give me for a week. So it says, okay, we are going to aim for like 1500 to 1800 calories, and bunch of details. Okay, for breakfast, oatmeal with berries. Okay, nuts, idli, and sambar. Lunch is roti with dal and vegetable curry. Dinner is either grilled fish or chicken, vegetable stir fry, tofu, paneer. Okay. Then day 2, day 3, day 4, day 5, day 6. Okay. Let's go ahead with that. Okay. This is good. Can you suggest a workout plan? So people have done the same thing as health planning app, where you can also do a lot of other things. Like for example, I'll quickly show you after this. So it now gives us, okay, week 1 I have to focus on building a habit, because I mentioned that I don't walk at all. So it is telling me first I should start walking 30 minutes, stop if I feel pain, then increase it to 45 minutes, then increase it to 45 to 60 minutes, then strength training like do squats, push-ups, plank, and all those things. Well and good. Now how do you take it to one more level? So now we are dealing with only text. One of the things that people do is people also try to make it let's say um, visual vision based model. So I mean, one thing that I always liked about like Kerala food is puttu kadalai. So I'm going to take puttu kadalai curry, and I'm going to take a picture of this. Let's see if it can recognize. I'm going to take the picture of this and then say, this is what I had for my breakfast. Can you calculate the calories? We're not going to say what food it is. We're not going to say anything at all. We're going to see if it can actually recognize that. Okay, it looks like you had puttu with kadala curry for breakfast. This is a classic Kerala dish. Okay, it definitely be part of healthy diet. However, to calculate accurate calories, it needs more information. I don't have more information to give, but yeah. So approximately, this is what we have got, and it has finally given me the response. So now, what you can do is whatever we did can be actually transformed into a startup. That is what a lot of people are doing. So they've basically taken this and then created a meal planner app. They've created a calorie counter, and basically now you can add the memory aspect that we just discussed here. So what you can do is you can have like a database, and then say, okay, in the morning this is what I ate. That means out of the 1500 calories that I need to take in one day, as you can see here, my 350 plus 250 600 calories already gone, so which means remaining 900. So you can optimize the meal plan on the go. A lot of things that you can do, and it is as simple as this, using something like an LLM. And again, as you can see here, we are not just using LLMs to write good morning post or good afternoon post, but we are trying to give a role to an LLM and then making it more personalized, so you can say more information about you, and then it can also give you the response back. For example, if you happen to use chat gpt, one of the okay, I have to log in. One of the feature that chat gpt has is it has got a memory component to it for you to be more personalized. So whenever you say some information about yourself, like for example, I can say I love eating chicken biryani from Meghna's, which is a very popular restaurant in Bangalore. What do you think? So now when you do this, you will okay. Right now it didn't do, but you will actually see that it will update memory. Let's see if it is going to do. Today is my birthday. Today is not my birthday, but as you can see here, it has updated the memory and it will remember. So now if you go to a new session also, so I already told you at the start that the LLMs cannot remember anything beyond the current session. So now we have gone to the new session. Can you guess my birthday? And it can retrieve from the memory, and then it says today is my birthday because it has got the memory. So you can implement that memory layer like how they have implemented in chat gpt, and then create like a whole meal planner app, and then you can now you're also startup founder. So that is the simplest use case. So this is what we meant by text generation, a bit of question and answering here. Now to take it one further step is what I spoke about, knowledge discovery. So I'm going to leave the conversation, create a new conversation. In this case, what we are going to do is we are going to go to archive, which is a place where you've got like research papers, and I'm going to take a PDF, download the PDF, save the PDF, go back to my Google AI Studio here, see if I can load the PDF here. So this is a research paper. Let's say we have no clue about this research paper, and as you can see, this research paper has got like a bunch of blocks as well, text as well. So this can process both. Can you explain this like I'm a fifth grader? So the paper is about something called XLSTM, which is a deep learning new architecture. But what I want is, as you can see here, it has used 84,000 tokens. It's a very long paper. So you can see we have had 55 pages on this, and it is processing all those things. And it is trying to get the answer because it is like 55 pages, which is 84,000 tokens. It is taking a bit of time, and yeah, let's wait for it to answer.
May I ask a question in the meantime?
Yep.
So, is this a paid version or
Okay, yeah, this is so typically when you go to gemini.google.com, which is what you get it as free consumer app, but this one is also free, but it has the latest model and you can access until 2 million tokens. aistudio.google.com. Okay, so it is trying to explain like I'm a fifth grader. Okay, it says you want a robot to talk. Then it talks about stubborn memory, small boxes, slow reading, and then so that is LSTM basically, or transformers, and it is explaining the new system. And as you can see here, if imagine you are a teacher and you want to explain like theory of relativity to 8th standard students, Now you can do like this. Or you are very interested in research papers, but you don't have math background, you cannot understand let's say mathematical equations. You can upload it here and then make it, give you the content. So now what you can also do here is that, let's say there is one particular thing that you want to find out about this paper. Let's say we want to see if they mention anything about Mamba models. Okay, so I'm going to just go ahead and then ask. So now we are going to use it as just a high quality search. So I'm going to say, was there anything about Mamba in the paper mentioned? And let's see if there is any information about Mamba. And another thing that I wanted to see is if we can get a number and then see accuracy. Let's say accuracy. Let's maybe try to get an accuracy. Again, it is a long paper, so it takes its own time. Otherwise, for a small paper with, let's say, 20 pages, 15 pages, it shouldn't take a lot of time. Okay, this is clear. While it is running, I would like to take you to the second system that I've got, which is a very new product. I think it got launched a couple of days back. This is called V0. It's from a company called Versal. But what I'm doing, you can also do it with another system called Claude. So this is like your front end or full stack developer. You can go here and ask it to design a website. Okay. So let's Gurudath, the university, the college name is what is the college?
Yes. Asomsaft, ASOM
Okay.
SAFT.
Can you design a website for a university?
I'll share you the URL then.
Yeah. I just want I don't want to give the URL. I just want to like
Okay, then
give.
maybe Asomsaft. Shall I give you the full name as well then?
Yeah, I mean this is okay. It's a media institute, right?
Yeah, I'll share you. Maybe I'll just give you in the chat. I'm sharing you the name, full name. It's oh, come on, one
So
second.
what we're trying to do here is we're trying to design a completely new website. Imagine you go to a design studio. You might see that they will take like 4 or 5 days at least to come up with a website. And as a data scientist, I don't even like have a lot of full stack development skills. So what we are going to see here is, let's say we are going to take the about and we are going to just give this information. Okay.
Are you suggesting how we can make our website better?
No, it won't be that good, honestly speaking. But it is like the title says, it's a V0. It's a very good starting point. Um, can you take design inspirations from Behance and have a gradient background? Use any stock images. Design a modern looking 2024 website.
So can you just mention about Behance and the stock images so people
Yeah,
can?
yeah. So Behance is a website where okay, I think I ran out of my okay, I ran out of my tokens today. I think I already ran enough. I'll show you some of the examples, but I'll go to Claude. So Behance is a website like LinkedIn is for professional people. Behance is a website for designers. So when you tell these AI systems to use inspiration from Behance, it can go. It might have in the training data that what kind of design landing pages that you will have in design Behance. So it will take inspirations from that. I'm going to put the same thing here. This is Claude. I think my V0 token today is finished. So I'm going to Claude.
Yeah, so Claude, it's good that you came here. So what you are right now seeing is one of the latest and the best thing that Claude has. It's called attributes. You can design and also preview the output within Claude itself, and then you can do the iterations. I use it a lot. Can you just explain that and why you prefer this as well?
Yeah, so what we are seeing now is Claude with something called Artifact, which Gurudev just mentioned. Artifact is a front-end renderer. So it can code in React.js, which is a front-end development framework. And right now, this is a simple HTML file. But for example, I can go to Claude and I can start a new chat and I can say, can you design a web app which can help me explain gravity with sliders and animations? So it can now help me generate the full React JS based front-end application. As you can see here, it is doing some React code. I don't understand React code at all. And there is some library that when you don't have library, use CDN JS. So I don't have the front-end skill set. What my latest hobby is that I go to these kind of websites. For example, I can show you in V0. This is what I was creating today. Like, this is a video that I'm supposed to publish. So after this, I'm going to edit it and publish. So for example, I wanted to design a website. Like I said, my skills to design a website is quite poor. So I wanted to design a contact form. So all I went and told here is that I wanted simple contact form, and I want to see get the interest, and I have the contact form ready, and I have the code ready, which is a React based code. And all I have to do is I have to download the code. Then I wanted a website. I'll show you the website here. I always have a fascination for this kind of a gradient based background. And as you can see here, there is a gradient in the background, which is very similar to your university theme, where somebody can go upload a picture and it can do a bunch of things. And in fact, I can show you the website itself. So this is something that I was designing yesterday, where I did not write a single line of code. So this entire thing was written by, I think, I guess, Claude. So I can upload a picture. For example, after I upload a picture, this is a South Indian actor, Dhanush. This lady is completely AI generated. Anyways, he is divorced, so I'm not spoiling the comment.
As we has too many problems with that.
Yeah, so I can now use my mouse, select an object in this, add more trackers, and I can cut it, and then it will download the picture, and then yeah, I have the completely cut. So this entire thing was completely built without me writing a single line of code. Maybe like I touched here and there,
Okay,
but I'm
just
planning to launch it as a code. Yeah.
This is actually a product, by the way, right? There is in the market. There was a demand for this as a product.
Yeah, there is a product. So I'm honestly like planning to launch my own product. So the current product, if you see background image remover, you can remove the background, but you cannot select object. So
also there is a pricing element for it. It's a paid one, right? The one you just showed.
Yeah. In remove.bg, the standard definition image is free, but the HD image is paid. But I'm mostly going to launch it free at this point. Let's see how it goes. Here we are using a model from Facebook Meta called SAM, segment anything model. But the idea here is that you don't have to write code. Even if you do not know, all you need is like if you can think creatively, then you can design all these things. And the final thing that I want to show is I want to show the agent capability. So this is a company based out of Dubai. There are a lot of companies offering you agentic solutions, but this company is, they had given me access. I hope I have the access. So you can go to their agentic marketplace, for example, in this case, and I can go to Amazon agent. There are a lot of plugins, as you can see here. There are a lot of plugins there. I have the Amazon shopping plugin. So now I can go to my playground and add an agent. So I can just go add Amazon shopping plugin as an agent. After I add a shopping plugin as an agent, I can just simply go say, give me a list of phones below 10,000 rupees. Let's see if it works. So what it is going to do is, first of all, because I said rupees, INR, it knows that it has to go search in Amazon India website. So as you can see here, okay, it's loading. I should have said, give me just 5. So it is giving me a lot of things. I don't know how much are they going to charge me. So as you can see here, whatever we said it in English, first it translated into code that it can understand. And then it also has made connections to these websites. So I said 10,000 rupees. So it knows it has to go to Amazon India. And then because I said 10,000 rupees, below 10,000 rupees, you can see that it has started getting me all the phones. Let's see if the link works. I'm going to click one of the links. And as you can see here, the same phone, Poco 65, 6,800 rupees. So we just did it in maybe like 1 minute. This is the agentic behavior which a lot of people are currently interested in. So for example, I can use the same agent, and instead of saying Indian rupees, I can say like, give me 5 phones below, let's say 500 AED. Now 600 AED. AED is Arab Emirates dirhams. So now what we expect this agent to do is the agent to understand that we are talking about Arab Emirates dirham. So it has to go to Amazon UAE and it has to search for smartphones. It has to look for smartphones below 600 AED and give us back. So as you can see here, it has already given us something. So let's click the product link and then do it. So now in a simple chat interface, you can build a completely agentic behavior. And here our agent is going to only one website. Now we can add multiple agents to this and make that agent go to 10 different websites, collect 10 different information, come back to us and give the final information. All we have to do is do one click and then we can shop.
So one question can I ask? So
Yeah.
how is it different from an app like Perplexity, right?
Yeah. Okay, so the chart that I described you, I would say Perplexity is somewhere in the knowledge discovery phase. It goes just collects information. It cannot act on information yet. It's just like a RAG. Technically, we call it retrieval augmented generation. Perplexity, what on demand does is it uses one of the, let's say, LLMs. In this case, I think it must be using GPT-4o, and it has got these multiple plugins connections. So it can interact with these plugins, get information, but also make sure that it has got these conditions. And if you see right now, we are not making any action. So for example, what I can do is I can take this code in, let's say, Python, and now can extend this code in such a way that it can shop for me. Like Amazon doesn't let you give you the shopping plugin yet, but then there are a lot of other websites. Let's say now you can create a simple app where I can just go design something and then it can deploy it also for me, which Perplexity cannot do. Perplexity can only retrieve, it cannot take an action.
Can I ask, so for example, because we have been doing a lot of purchasing for our new course here, for let's say I want to buy 50 books for the library, okay, and these books are specifically in the AI realm. So AI related books for my library. So if I do that, what could be the outcome output that I get? That too in Indian rupees.
Give
So
me a
it's
list of 10 books that are focused in, let's say, AI and machine learning,
machine learning. Yeah.
from that are, let's say, below 2000 rupees.
No, let's make it 10,000 because there are most books are very expensive.
Okay, below 10,000 rupees. Ranging from basic to advanced. Give me a reason for your selection as well. So let's see if it can also give us a reason.
Yeah. Did you give the number of books? Yeah. Books
I
are-
gave 10 books. Let's
Okay.
see.
Okay.
It's not giving me the link. I have to ask her to give me the link. Okay, it has given me the book name.
So for the
Give me a
people
link.
who joined, this took us around many days to figure out the books, especially going through multiple channels and then going to Amazon and finding the links for these books. That is what Abdul is showing us in a matter of seconds. Okay, so see the time it can save. All the things that we discussed today. See the time it is saving for our work.
And it is not just this. Like this is a Amazon example. If you see, one of the most successful business on internet is to create leads for a business. Like for example, you have a college, you want students to come and somebody will say, okay, I'll give you 100 students. That is the top of the funnel. We call it tofu, and they'll take a commission. Now this company also happens to have a, okay, it is giving me purchase link. Let's click one link and then see if it actually works, because a lot of times it may not. Okay, in this case it didn't work. Yeah, I think we need to just change the prompt a little bit, but I'll show you one more plugin. So this company also has let's say something called a LinkedIn plugin. And one other thing, let's say we want to do is give me 10 profiles that are, let's say, university professors in Bangalore. So now it can go to LinkedIn and search this and then get us the response back. I hope it works, and sometimes it may not work. That is okay. It is just giving me the college. I want. Did I add this? Yeah, I added this. Let's take because we said Perplexity, so we're trying to figure out people who work at Perplexity. Akhil, do you have a question? No? Okay.
Yes,
Yeah.
yes, Akhil, yeah.
Please go on.
Yes, yes. Hi, Abdul. So like
Hi.
I joined around 8:30. Before that, I did.
Okay.
Yeah. So like the topic, as we say, A as a friend rather than being a chatbot. So like, can you maybe yeah can you explain how this creative process we use AI, like rather than employing it to on R&D and so and so, how much we can creatively use it? Yeah, as a friend,
Yeah.
maybe
So
as
basically,
an
what we
intelligent
discussed
friend.
today. Yeah. So what we discussed today is importance of using AI as part of your workflow. We saw a couple of case studies from Microsoft for GitHub and Harvard University. And then we said, okay, there are multiple ways to use it. One for text generation, knowledge discovery as an agent, which will accomplish task for you. And then we learned about like different kinds of agents. And now we are seeing live demo about how to do certain agents and different tasks. We did a health planner, meal planning kind of a thing, and then we did like a
Right.
website designing thing, and then now we are doing like shopping and lead generation
App
kind of a thing.
development.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
So maybe Guru can also contribute on it. How
So,
the
by the way,
many
Akhil is the person who suggested the topic for today. So,
name So maybe I wanted to be as a participate as a moderator because uh, I have experience like making budget and all. It gives a vague idea of what is the metadata which is already fed to the system. So
yeah,
in such cases, the precision and it's a vague estimate or whatever it is giving. So rather than employing it, that's my
yeah,
doubt. How do we approach it as a friend
yeah.
for
I think that
our
is where the
creative process or maybe the cinema, the
yeah.
whole idea of it.
See, that is where the process of providing the personal information and the knowledge comes into huge role. Like for example, when we
To
did
make
this,
uh, the to make the model understand.
yeah, to make the model. So more than understanding, you are basically setting boundaries for the model. See, this model is
Okay,
like a teenage student. Now, the student can go in all directions. One of the things
right,
our universities do is to put guardrails and then say that okay, just spend your time within this. Maybe you can excel at it, and that is exactly what we are going to do here also. So the LLMs have something called latent space. It has got like the vast knowledge. What we are trying to say is okay, this are the constraints or conditions. In fact, like if you are into image generation, there is actually a setting called CFG. Somewhere you would say this
hold on, hold on. Can you just explain about Flex because people don't know about that? Yeah, just one, one sentence on
yeah,
that.
Yeah. So what I was saying is that what you are trying ultimately to do with these AI agents is you are trying to put a guardrail for them to think only within the limit and then do certain things. And because okay, we did the agent. Just quickly going back to Flux. Flux is a text to image generation model. So until now, whatever we discussed is input is text, output is text. Now we use the text to create text, we use the text to create knowledge, we use the text to create another action, but we are dealing only with text. Everything is text because it's single modality. In only one place, we actually upload an image here, like the puttu kadale, and then it gave us
correct,
the calories back, where the input was image, output was text. We call it a vision model. Now Flux is the opposite of it. You give text as an input and you get image as an output. And as you can
mm,
see here, I just generated just before this call started a comic strip.
This is open source, right?
This one is open source. Yeah, this link is open source. This is a model that you can use, and you can generate a bunch of things. Like for example,
oh,
you can generate a comic strip. And I recently had a tutorial. Like for example, I don't know how many of you guys know this is Tamil actor Dhanush, and I created a own model of Dhanush, and then I said, okay, Dhanush as a Superman flying in the sky. Let's say a photo of Dhanush walking in the beach with let's say an American white girl. This is how you can create problem in families. Hopefully, Dhanush wouldn't mind because It's not like in a marriage, but so what you can do using this model, because it is open source like Flux, you can train your own model. That is another way of personalization. You can train your own model. Like, it is extremely helpful for people like me, YouTubers. I don't have a model yet, but you would see a lot of YouTubers train their own model and keep it. Now you can automate the entire YouTube thumbnail creation part with this, because you need your face. Like, if you have seen Mr. Beast and all, you need your face for every thumbnail, and you can automate your own face creation with this model, which we call as like the LoRa model. And you can put multiple LoRa models together, and then you can generate a personalized image, whatever you want to do. I think it takes a time, but
Just to add on, because I've seen one of your students or your fan, I don't know, but he made something with Sachin Tendulkar.
yeah. He did the same LoRa training, but with Sachin photos, and he made like Sachin play tennis. He made like Sachin play like other things as well. So it poses a lot of questions about privacy and a lot of philosophical questions, but it also is extremely helpful. So you can see, it's not a safe picture, but Dhanush is walking with a girl, American girl in white girl. Okay. Yeah.
Can you repeat the name of the site?
This site, so this is a
Open
paid
source.
site where I trained my own LoRa. This is a paid site. It's called replicate.com. But the way you can generate the model is there is a Hugging Face space. Just if you don't want personalized one, you just want like out of box, whatever that is already available. If you want to try, so then you can just go, like, for example, we all know like Donald Trump would be part of the training data, right? You can say Donald Trump winning Olympics medal photo. And I mean, people are going completely crazy with this. Like, they are creating a lot of weird things. But the thing is, like, when you create here, like I said at the start, it can go generate anything anywhere. You need to put constraints, and that is where you train your own model and then use it within this and within the latent space, and then it can generate whatever we want.
Just to add on to Abdul, Akhil, so we are talking about text, generating text from text to image. So, but underlying principle is that it's all an AI model. In sometimes it's the same AI model in different formats. So we can restrict it to give only text output. We can also say that only generate images or both. So things like that.
Yeah, Olympic winning model holding a paper written, "I love America." So
now also note that this is why this Flux is important, because it is as good as Midjourney, right? Like things like that happening.
I would say honestly, it is better than Midjourney in a lot of cases, especially text rendering. For a text rendering is like in an image, you want the text to appear. I think there is currently one model called Ideogram, which is a closed company, which was better, but Flux is like completely takes everybody out of the park, and it does a pretty good job in generating realistic images.
Thank you. I think our time is over now. So any questions from anyone we can ask Abdul when we get, because it was very difficult to get you next time. So please
Thank
ask.
you, Abdul.
Yes, sir.
Can I ask? Thank you, Abdul. I think it's a very good lecture. See, in the beginning, we are talking about the AI companion or a girlfriend, or you gave the example of hair. So, if you there are a number of things which have come up, like Replica and many other models which have emerged over a period of time. We have one, even before 2009, we have Project Rinko in Japan. They have married that particular AI character also. So I just want to see that from Rinko 2009, it could able to create or fill the emptiness or the loneliness of the, especially men. So how do you see the current models which are coming up could able to engage the user in a more immersive or more, maybe I can say romantic or maybe friendship in this relation?
Yeah, that's a great question, and if you were into like let's say computer science, even much before that, we have had like models like ELIZA. If you go online and then search that, ELIZA is like from 1960s, and these are also like this same concept has existed for quite a while. So if you ask me how are current models, one different or better, and also on what aspect, I would say one primary thing is like the personalization aspect. You can make the current models as personalized as you want, and there are multiple steps like we just did, like here we did with a system prompt. The next level is to do with RAG, and the final level is to do with fine tuning. So now you can take all your WhatsApp messages, let's say you've got your spouse or girlfriend or whoever it is, you can take your WhatsApp messages or their WhatsApp messages and try to create a character around it. So it is highly, you can personalize them, you can make it like as close as possible. And also the character arc changes. So previously, whenever we have had chatbots, they come with like a strong template. It would be very hard to convert them into a different form, different profile. But now with the simple system prompt, you can change the character arc completely. That is primarily because of the model that we discussed. Like, in fact, the paper that we saw somewhere, attention is all you need. It fueled a new form of deep learning architecture called transformers, and that is ultimately, fueling all the innovation that we have got. So I would say like personalization is primary factor of what you can do with these models.
All right, then we can wind up. But thank you, Abdul. Thank you again for coming back. And this time you're able to cover many things that we don't know. Many of things are advanced stuff, especially the agentic ones. So most of our members are not very familiar with that, but still we get to know from you, and also we will teach that at some point, so people will know about these things in detail. And whatever Abdul shared to us is the latest things. Okay, so it's not just basic things, it's also the latest things. So we should also try all the tools that he shared as well. I suggest that, especially Flex, and also the agentic parts that he mentioned, the tools. If you are good at AI, try those things as well. But anyways, Abdul, thank you so much for your time and for sharing your knowledge. So
Thank you very much. Thank you for
I'll see you
inviting me.
next time. Thank you, man.
Yeah,
Thank you.
thank you. Take care. Bye bye.